Hello and welcome everyone. We are here with Mysteries at the End of the World. I'm not working on writing 3 campaigns at once or anything and got the titles mixed up. No, Mysteries at the End of the World. We're gonna go around, we're gonna say who we are and who we're playing. I am the keeper of arcane lore for this evening and all of the delightful NPCs you'll meet today. And by delightful, I mean... So, let's start off with, we're just gonna go in a random order. Tom, how are you tonight?
I'm okay, thank you. I'm a little warm. I'm a little hot. Summer is
Yeah, you are.
now arrived. I'm actually in one of the hottest places in the UK, if you can believe that, at this present moment. I know, in Wales, and it's the hottest part. And it hasn't rained for about 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost unheard of.
That's bizarre.
It is weird. It's so weird. I do a lot of watering in work. But I will be playing Professor Marvin Howells, an aging professor who's looking for one last hurrah before he retires with tenure.
Beautiful. Fabulous. Greg, how are you for this evening?
I'm fantastic. Hi, I'm Greg. I'm going to be playing Ushuaia Pendergast, who is I believe, the engineer-esque cat on this crew. And he's very subtle.
Very. I would have not even known, like a wallflower, really.
Right. It was either this or my brick suit, but I went with this. So
tough choice. Speaking of tough choices, Dawn, how are you today?
Thank you for that introduction. I'm great. I'm Don. I'm going to be playing Tanner Huntington. Tanner is he works in Hollywood, but mostly doing like film crew documentaries. He's not had a big break. He's a cameraman, not a great cameraman, and maybe not great at anything.
Someone who's great at some things would be Pruitt. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, Lindy. Thanks for having me. And by the way, Greg, I loved your character's knockout scene in that time traveler movie with the people in San Francisco and the whales. Anyway, I will be playing Wash Keys, the sub pilot / surfer dude. Just a general good dude in general, generally speaking.
Just a generally good dude in general. Yeah, we've got our beautiful crew here for this definitely not low budget production. Let me paint the picture here for you all as the audience, because our players know where we're at. The year is 1986. The date is Sunday, March 30th. Jack Grimm, eccentric oil tycoon, billionaire, who has funded multiple expeditions around the world to look for the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, Noah's Ark, and most recently, the Titanic, which he claims he found the propeller of. I'm gonna leave that can of worms in your box to research because that's a whole thing. There's a documentary on YouTube narrated by Orson Welles if you're interested. I got through it, but he is known for his little eccentricities, you could say. He decided, after hearing rumors about strange artifacts washing upon the shores of the Tierra del Fuego, to fund one last expedition, one last hurrah, as this man, I believe, is in his 70s now. And on his last expedition for the Titanic, he may have had to choose between a monkey that would point at a specific spot on a map that he swore was the Titanic or the scientists. It was a tough call, but he eventually went with the scientists. So that's the precedent for our starter of this journey. We also have the eccentric, well, less eccentric, more down on his luck, director and producer Walter Thomas, who Jack Grimm convinced to also assist with this endeavor. This definitely not super low budget production that they're hoping to get on PBS and BBC, exploring the wonders and mysteries of Tierra del Fuego. So, that is where we find ourselves, in the city of Ushuaia. The crew has been assembled. They've all finally arrived. It's taken some time for people to get there. Some people had obligations they had to finish up. Other people just delayed flights and things. There's not a lot of access here. Ushuaia's current population is approximately 20,000 people. Not a huge city. Not a small city. Well, not a tiny city either. You all are staying at the Hotel Villa Brescia, which has 47 rooms, 7 simple and 40 superior. You all, thanks to Jack Grimm, has decided no one's going to be staying in the double twin bedrooms. Everyone gets their own bed with a queen bed because we're going to be staying here. They're hoping to do all of the filming in about 2 weeks to a month. It really depends on weather. The average temperature in April right now, well, almost April, in March is 54 degrees. The average temperature in April is about 59, with lows in the 40s. It's kind of a weird constant temperature for most of the year, but because of the ocean and the mountains and its proximity to Antarctica. It's known as the end of the world because it is literally like the lowest you can go before you hit Antarctica. So a lot of ships that travel to Antarctica, if they're not leaving from Australia, will leave from Ushuaia. But we're not going to Antarctica this time. That was my last Call of Cthulhu adventure. We're gonna zoom in on the hotel. This is a charming hotel. It's got 4 floors, and it has an elevator that has a capacity for 4 people. It's quite good for the area. They also have a restaurant on site, which, because it is limited to only people staying at the hotel, seeing as how it is autumn in the southern hemisphere, there's not a lot of tourism right now. So it's basically you guys, the filming crew, and since it's the first night in, and the last person just arrived, the last flight bringing people in, there's like a little welcoming party, like a get-to-know-everyone kind of shindig going on that Jack Grimm has paid for. So, everyone enters into the restaurant. A lot of people are sitting there. There's drinks, there's food. Out of the 4 of you, who would be the first to arrive at this little get-together?
I think Tanner would go there pretty early.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Tanner would go, he would grab just a plate of small things that he can eat very easily with his fingers. Because I think at this party, he would try to set up in the corner, get his tripod set up, get his camera set up, just to, record some B-roll, maybe capture some footage of some of the folks going on the expedition.
Yes, that is perfect. The production assistant, I got to open my Trello board with all my NPCs. The production assistant, Danny Sinclair, she sees you taking the initiative to set things up, and she's like, Oh, good, I'm so glad you're setting up the camera. I was hoping that we could get some footage for tonight for some behind-the-scenes stuff, and then also, I was hoping that we could set up the second camera in that little side room there where we can conduct little interviews of everyone, because it's the first day and, capture that initial excitement, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. Listen, Danny, the room over there, is lighting good? Do you need me to run back up to my room? And
I think the lighting is fine. It's actually surprisingly well lit. It's like the little private dining area. So I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Do you want me to conduct the interviews? I've done a few interviews before. I'm pretty good at getting people to open up, but I'm also just happy to be the guy who turns the wheel. You know what I mean?
I really just want you to enjoy the party. So if you could just stick that interview one up on a tripod. I believe Mr. Grimm said that he wanted to get the narration and the interview portion dubbed over. I think he's looking for James Earl Jones, something about kids liking Darth Vader. I don't know. So it's not really that important who does the interviews, but I really want you to enjoy yourself at this party. It's the first night in, and I know you're going to be doing a lot of hard work through the next coming weeks. So I will have Heather come assist you with setting up the sound and stuff, so we can just kind of...
you don't have to do that.
I think it's no trouble at all.
Sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. And she'll give you a little pat on the shoulder. She is a 5'5" woman, curly brown hair. It's also very permed. In addition to that, it's the 80s. She's got the feathered bangs. The businesswoman, light kind of look. She's got a blouse on with the scarf. short business heels and slacks. Could you describe to what Tanner looks like for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Tanner is quite tall. He is 6'4", but kind of a beanpole too. And he doesn't know how to dress for these things. And so he's probably more underdressed than maybe some people here are. And a jacket that is weather appropriate, but totally not appropriate for where they are in the world right now. A little bit shiny, a little bit torn. Looks like he's been wearing the same jacket for years. And he's run a comb through his hair, which is long and tucks in the back with a bit of a mullet. But he's only run the comb through once, so his hair is a little bit of a mess too. And he kind of holds himself the way that he speaks to people. He always kind of hunches over just a little bit, like he's insecure about looking down at people.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you're setting up the camera, and it's not 2 minutes later, maybe, that Heather comes, like, running up with, like, an armful of sound equipment. I'm like, oh, Dana, so, like, I heard that we were setting up the cameras for interviews and stuff today.
Wait, yeah, that's what we're doing right now, Heather. It's just going to be a really simple setup. One camera here, one camera in there, no extra lighting. We don't have to prep ourselves for any
sure,
interviews.
You don't mean maybe, like, mic you up or anything? Because, like, I totally...
She said something about dubbing people's voiceover with a James Earl Jones voice. Have you seen
James Earl
Star
Jones.
Wars? I still haven't seen it.
It's so... Well, you know, like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, a video rental store not too far down the street. Maybe if we have, like, a down day, we could, like, rent it and watch it.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
the rooms
I'm
have,
just
like, TVs.
kind of a wimp about stuff like that. Like, I saw the trailers and everything, and most of my friends been, but I just get scared. You know what I mean?
It's not scary. Like, if you get
It looks
scared, like,
scary.
you can hold my hand. I'll be there for you. You know?
Yeah, well, you know, maybe when we get back from all this, I think we should try to keep things professional here. This is a big deal for us, both of us, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm so glad, like, my grandfather was able to, like, get us on this job because I heard South America, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so beautiful. And it kind of is. It's a little colder than I thought it was going to be, though.
Hey, you gotta wear a jacket, Heather.
Yeah, like, I got my denim.
Hey, listen, I'm really grateful for you and your grandpops, but I really want to focus on doing a good job here. You know what I mean? This could be something big.
I get it. I will keep it, like, super professional during working hours, but, like, if we have, like, a down day, because there's gonna be some downtime, you know, like if we get a lot of rain, or if they're just waiting to get people coordinated. I don't know how, like, there's always delays in filming, so, like, if there's a good day where you're not a camera guy, we should, you know, like, we should hang out.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go get some more cheese.
Okay, yeah, do you want me to get you, like, some punch? I'm gonna get you some punch. And she goes off.
He immediately beelines for the cheese, even though he's still got half of his plate of cheese still full.
And then, so you beeline for the cheese. And as you're beelining for the cheese, who is next to arrive?
You said that there was potential problems with the flights being, you know,
Being
sporadic
delayed and stuff, yeah.
I would say that
Not a
Uriah
big airport
is,
here.
is just like literally the front door of the hotel opens up and he explodes in carrying one of those very large army duffel bags.
Yeah.
And he would be bleeding from a cut on his cheek.
Okay.
And he takes the bag, and like you would throw somebody out of a bar, for which he has experience being the bag, he would throw it in at the front desk until it just smashes down in front. I'm here.
You see a woman run up to you. Could you describe yourself, please?
Yes, of course. Uriah Pendergast is he's a fan of punk music. he is also way too old to be dressing like this. I mean, societal standard speaking, you would expect this to be the outfit of a teen or perhaps somebody that is rebelling against the establishment. He is past the seasons of being the rebel and is definitely in the establishment camp. But in his late 30s, nearly 40, he has decided to take on the uniform of the rebel and he feels comfortable in his skin. However, he draws eyes in places like airports and places that decide to pick his nerves.
Understandable.
So he has an outfit and a demeanor that just screams curmudgeon-y asshole. He's the best of punk. Punk is always angry and old is always angry, and he's both. So there we are.
Beautiful, beautiful. So the front desk is, like, ¿por qué? But a woman comes rushing out from the restaurant next door. She goes, hello. I'm Danielle Sinclair. I'm the production assistant. I assume you're here. You must be. And she looks at you, Mr. Pendergast?
Uriah.
Okay. We'll get you all checked in here. And she just, like, nods, and they're like, and they pull out, like, a key. Because, you know, it's like they got the fancy little key fobs on there. Not too fancy. They're wooden, but they look nice. And she goes, seems you're in room on floor number 2. Room 7. She'll hand you a key.
Thank you.
Yes.
And he just hangs it from his chain on his neck.
Nice. But if you want to, we'll have someone bring your duffel up there for you if you don't want to move it.
I'm not letting this out of my sight. They almost lost it.
Okay. Well, if your room is there, if you want to put your things there. If not, we have a little welcome party for everyone here today in the restaurant next door. So.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Okay.
And he just reaches down and grabs it and drags it up the steps.
Okay. It's the hotel is fairly new at this time. It was built about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, and so it's a pretty nice hotel. There's pictures of it online.
Online? What is that?
What? No, in the modern day. 1986. It's just pretty nice. It's a nice little establishment. Queen bed, no mini fridge, but there is a TV and a radio, like a nice dresser drawers and private bathrooms.
There is a radio, you say?
There's a radio, yes.
Then I will make one change to Uriah's exit. When he gets up to the room, which you said overlooks the area here, the lobby, he would enter, and way too soon, as soon as the door closes, like the radio starts. Like somehow, like within a second or two, the radio starts, and it is obnoxiously loud, no matter what is playing.
It's a lot of Argentine music. But you can tune into a few Chilean stations from here as well, because you're kind of right on.
Whatever it is, that shit's at an 11. So. Yep.
All right. The hotel staff enjoy the music, but they look a little like, oh, glad none of the guests are sleeping right now. That you don't know this, but anyone else downstairs can see the staff being like, okay. I'm assuming you're going to maybe unpack some of your things, and then it's up to you whenever you decide to grace the party with your presence.
Absolutely.
Okay. So who'd be next to arrive?
So I'd like to think that Professor Marvin House was actually coming down the stairs as Serial was coming up. He kind of just looks to the side, just watches him. Oh, no, right. And just kind of waddles down and heads to the where the party is. In the kind of like a conference room or front room or whatever it is.
It's like a little restaurant. A lot of the tables have been cleared and put to the side with chairs to make it a little bit more open. There's some tango music playing. It's some other types of, like a little bit like chill dance music. With some music from Uriah's room sneaking in. You get downstairs and you see your acquaintance, Jack Grimm. He's got he's got a nice blazer on, it's a little bit of velveteen, and he's walking around with a taxidermied penguin. And
have I seen this penguin before?
You have not seen this taxidermied penguin before.
Okay.
It looks like old taxidermy. It looks like taxidermy from the 1800s, maybe?
Oh, an antique.
It's yeah, one could say an antique taxidermied penguin.
Okay.
And
So Marvin, oh, go ahead.
he walks up to you with
okay.
this taxidermied penguin. He goes, Professor! Oh, he's not British, I'm sorry. Professor! It's so good to see you. My goodness. I'm so glad you decided to join this venture. It's gonna be grand.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure it's going to be grand. After all you told me, well, how could I refuse? And he kind of licks his hand and he kind of mops his very black hair, but blatantly dyed black hair, because you can see the scruff is grey and his eyebrows are grey, and he kind of puts it to the side, trying to keep it neat. And so this is you've got a little friend of yours. I don't think I've met him.
Oh yeah, this is Doris. She's great.
Doris, an antique? Where did you manage to find her?
Oh yeah, I did find Doris at an antique store, and she just spoke to me. You know?
Not literally, I assume.
He just laughs. He doesn't say yes or no. He goes, Doris is going to be a great addition to this venture. Doris is actually one of the reasons I decided to go on this venture.
Any particular, what reason did Doris give you?
Oh, there's just a great discoveries to be had here. Absolute wonders of the world to be found. Isn't that right, Doris? Yeah, she agrees.
Is there a bar or?
Oh yes, please. I've got some scotch here myself. Would you like some?
Oh, I would love some scotch.
That's right
yes.
over this way.
Thank you. He'll head on over to the bar and order a double scotch.
Easy enough to do. You are poured a hefty glass of scotch at the bar. And you see that there is two younger kids, 20s, setting up some camera and recording stuff. You see a young lady greeting everyone. She was going to greet you, but then she saw that Mr. Grimm was greeting you instead. She was went to go help out with some other things here and there. She's got a little name tag that says production assistant Danny Sinclair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Bunch of other people mingling.
I think Marvin will head over to where all the younger people are.
Okay.
Just to see what they're doing. With a scotch in hand.
Yep. So you see the two people setting up the film equipment. It looks like they're almost done.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And he will head. Hello. I'm not disturbing you, am I?
Oh, hi. No, not at all. Tanner?
Professor Marvin Howells from MIT.
Heather
Professor...
Slazowski. It's nice to meet you.
This is Heather.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you. Meet you.
Nice to meet you. You said you're professor of MIT?
Yes, I was out of MIT. I've been there for, I'd say close to 30 years now.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's older than
me. Impressive.
Oh dear. But yes, I'm very excited to go on this exploration, I suppose you could say, discovering new things. Have either of you ever been on one of these before? I mean, you on television, I'm sure you've been around places.
Most of my work has been in New York and LA.
Yeah, me too. I work with Heather pretty often, actually. I've never been outside of America before, so this is a real treat, Professor.
New discoveries for us all, I suppose.
I mean, what are you a professor of, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, quite a few things: anthropology, archaeology. After the war, I decided to go into education and really get to know the world and people, rather than other things. And he takes a sip of the whiskey, and it hits him a little bit. So, I've never the television. I've never been on television before.
I understand. Listen, the most important thing for you is just to imagine that the camera's not even there. I mean, what we're really trying to do here is just capture who you are, who everyone on this expedition is, not just, your anthropology background, but who you are as a person, and just get you in the environment, record whatever we can of what we find. And what I hope is, if we find something that impresses you or that is meaningful in your field, that we might be able to get a shot of you in that moment, just the joy, the moment of expression.
Oh, that would be great. I mean, finding anything undiscovered is truly a remarkable experience. I mean, to have someone's name attached to maybe finding, I don't know, maybe a lost ship, a lost city, even lost pottery would be rather exciting. Don't you think?
You can see he looks a little squeamish when you say lost city, and he squints a little bit. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about any of that, so I'm the people person, I want to experience my joy of discovery through helping you find yours and just being there for it. You said lost city. Is this what are we looking for here exactly? I'm unclear.
I'm sure Mr. Grimm will explain it a lot better than I can.
Looks over for Mr. Grimm, who has that stuffed penguin, and gulps. All right.
He is, I've known him for a few years now. He tends to recruit from MIT and gets a lot of funding through a lot of, educational purposes. He's done it for quite a few times. I'm sure one of them is supposed to come up with something. Mm-hmm.
He just kind of goes back to working on the camera and a little more timidly says, well, listen, Professor, you're the expert, but you're in good hands with Heather and me. I promise you that. We do this all the time, and this is exciting, but we're going to take good care of you.
That is a weight off my shoulders. Thank you so much. Could I get either of you a drink, or are you not allowed to drink while you're, I suppose, working? Are you like on duty or something?
No, tonight's like a party night. We're just setting up the cameras, and then we're free to mingle.
Right, so can I get you a drink, either of you, or...
See, he looks down to his glass of punch that Heather's brought him.
Yeah, it's definitely got something in it.
Yeah, and he's tasted it. He sipped it, so he's noticed that it's not
like
extra.
Heavily spiked. It's just the punch itself just might be spiked a bit.
Okay, all right. So maybe he hasn't noticed. He's like, yeah, this punch is actually pretty good. Surprising. I'm trying not to drink tonight. Focusing on just getting to know people, but I wouldn't mind another glass if you don't mind, Professor.
No, of course. I can get you some punch. And you, Heather, is that...
Yeah, I could take some more punch. That'd be great.
More punch. I'll be right back. And he'll kind of shuffle off.
And could you describe our good professor for me?
Yeah, the professor is quite a large man. He's quite rotund. He's more round than anything as a shape to describe him. It's a bit unusual because his shoulders tend to be a bit thinner than that you would think that they would be. And then as you go down, it just starts to get wider and rounder until the point where the suit that he's wearing, which is a kind of what he probably believed would be a very hip and up-to-date 80s suit, it's not. It's horrible and tacky, which might have fitted in the 80s. I don't know. But he's wearing it, and it's a little tight around the waist. His hair, again, is like jet black, which is kind of combed to the side. He has got a full head of hair. He's one of the lucky ones with his age. He's kept it. But absolutely blatantly dyed his hair. He's got stubble that is grey, and his eyebrows are grey. And he's got a kind of soft, kind of like a soft round face with like friendly kind of green eyes.
Love it. I'm so here for it. And that just leaves one person to arrive or come downstairs this evening.
Yes. That's when the front door to the hotel opens, and one of the bellboys is bringing in what looks like a ratty, tattered backpack that is overstuffed, and then what looks like a garbage bag full of clothes, maybe, followed by a very gesticulating individual in a Hawaiian shirt, shorts, flip-flops in this weather, and he comes in, he's like, listen, all I'm saying is, while Star Wars is a good movie, The Last Starfighter captured the epitome of the times, okay? Because it what it is the narrative character that the audience follows. You don't understand. He gets to play a game that is an application to basically join Starfleet. So in a way, it is more realistic and much more uplifting. Okay, listen. I basically get to play a video game in real life every day. I drive subs, okay? And it's basically like I'm waiting for like water aliens to come and take me because I'm so good at my job. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Well, thank you. And he kind of pats around for like something in his pockets and like nothing. And then he just kind of pats the guy on the back and takes his stuff. Okay. Thank you. Grass. Thank you.
Sí, señor. And he goes.
Yeah. And he goes up to the front desk and yes, wash keys, please.
Yeah. A young lady comes out from the room next door. She goes, Mr. Keys, wash keys. Hi, Danielle Sinclair, production assistant. It's really nice to meet you.
Have we met?
No, we have not met.
Ooh, okay, hey.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Okay.
Yes, so your room is, going to be on the 3rd floor, room 6.
Thanks. It'll be good to be in a room again. All right. Yes. Well, I'm just gonna take this stuff up.
Diving expert, right?
Well, yeah. I'm both a diving expert. I'm also a licensed ish sub pilot, and yeah. So I'll. Where we going? We're gonna go look at some reefs.
Not a lot of those in the area, due to the frigid, slightly Antarctic waters, but I do believe that there is going to be diving at a lake tomorrow.
Hey, I learned how to swim in a lake. It's all good. I get it. Okay. It's fun.
We are having a welcome party, get to know everyone party, downstairs, right here in this restaurant. We've had it all rented out, so feel free, once you get yourself settled in your room, to come on down and enjoy some refreshments.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, you get settled, and I'll see you downstairs in a bit.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. And he kind of stumbles upstairs. And he has a tendency, like when people are talking to him, he goes stock still, and you're not really sure if he's like falling asleep on his feet or what. But it's that's Wash Keys.
Okay.
And he will go and deposit his stuff in the room, which is
literally. There's this really loud, like Argentine dance music playing, and it gets louder and louder as you get up to the second floor. It seems to be coming directly from the room, directly across from you.
Awesome. Yeah. Wash kind of does a little bit of a shimmy with his hips as he's going down the hallway. And he's like, all right. I'm sure they'll turn that off later. And he just throws his stuff in the room. Like he doesn't, there's no ceremony to it. And then he heads straight downstairs because he hears party and it probably means free food. So.
Oh yeah, there's lots of free food downstairs.
Yeah, when he gets back downstairs, he just starts taking stuff and putting it in his pockets. And he's wearing like cargo shorts. So like he's just putting different pieces of food in different pockets.
There's a nice, actually a wide variety of fruit. There's a nice little fruit section, and then there's like American food section with like cheese and crackers and like hot dogs and some other things. And then there's like some Argentine foods on like the bigger table, the local fare. So.
Well, he will keep the food demarcated per pocket, based on origin, country of origin.
Good to know. That can be important sometimes. And there also appears to be like some alcohol, some punch, coffee, all sorts of beverages available as well. And could you describe what Wash looks like, please, as you're taking food and putting in pockets at the party?
Yeah, I mean, Wash has golden locks, probably a little bit too golden. As he's going down there, he's adjusting his sunglasses. Always has his headset on, and because he's always ready. And like I said, he's wearing kind of baggy, like cargo shorts, with some very worn flip flops. It looks like maybe they've been duct taped together, just to give him a few more miles. But he looks around the room as he just reaches into a pocket and pulls out a piece of a hot dog and eats it and puts the rest back. But he definitely finds drinks and he's just like sniffing them to try to smell the strongest thing. And
it's probably gonna be the selection of like scotch and whiskey that is there.
Hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And he continues to just shove his face with food, and as he's kind of milling about, just getting a lay of the room.
Yeah, it's not a huge room. There's probably like 24 people here total. Just let me know when Ushuaia comes back downstairs, Greg.
The smell of food was eventually going to pique his interest, and he would come down
really
and he would immediately grab a bottle, wherever the bar would be stationed, and not take a drink, but just the entire thing, and begin drinking out of it. The music has not been turned off in his room. He is a complete and utter asshole, and so he would survey the room as he would walk in, trying to ascertain who he was going to be working with. As I'm assuming this is the first time we're all working with each other, with the exception of course, Tanner and Heather, who have this this palpable chemistry. So he would just come down, grab the bottle, and like a gunslinger or an insult comic, just looking at the room. Yeah,
you take it all in. People seem to be getting along fairly well. There's like minimal awkwardness, which is surprising, but you think that's due to Danny going around and like introducing people and like making conversation, and like she's kind of like a party coordinator, party planner here. And of course you see Mr. Grimm with Doris, and you see coming in just after you is your producer and director, Walter Thomas. The man looks exhausted. You're not sure if he just permanently looks that way or if that's just his current demeanor. Could have been a long flight, hard to say. But man looks tired. Thing for him. There we go. Yeah. He's just got a cup of coffee, and you see him just like pour some of the alcohol into the cup, and it's just like, walks over to you. I'm so sorry. He walks over to you, and he's like, so you're our, like, engineer, mechanic, fix-it guy.
Yep.
Good. Good. Now I know who to go to when anything breaks.
You're Walt, right?
Yep. Walter Thomas. Walt for short. Supposed to shake your hand.
He'll shake it.
Yeah. He takes it back. It's immediately the cigarette's back in it. It looks like this man rarely has any hands that are empty. It looks like this is how he lives his life.
Lindy, I got to break for a second. You are, I can't pick the musician who you are, but you are, it'll hit me and I'm going to just shout it out, everybody. So that's just how it's going to be. When it hits me, I'm going to shout it out. Yeah, and I think that's what Uriah is thinking too. I think he's looking at Walt and thinking, this guy reminds me of somebody. And so in this, Uriah and I are of like mind. We're trying to figure out who Lindy Walt looks like. And so that's the deep observation that's going on behind the bug-eyed glasses of Uriah.
So, right. At some point during the party, I need you to go into that room, do a quick 2-minute interview for the behind-the-scenes features.
I thought you were going to say something completely different.
No, it's not that kind of film. And he's just gonna nod
All right.
and then walk away. Like, he does not seem to be the king of conversation, let's just say.
Well, Walt is Uriah's new best friend.
And, yeah, everyone sees, everyone here at the party. Heather is going ham on the punch. And it's not long before, if none of you have anything you want to say to each other at this moment, Danny will come over to probably Tanner first, just to get his little interview out of the way. Be like, so Tanner, you ready for your interview?
Oh. I got it. I'm doing one too.
Oh, everyone's doing one. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. Are you gonna be the one asking me the questions?
Yeah, sure am.
Oh, all right. That makes me feel a little bit better. Okay, yeah. We can knock this out.
Yeah, Mr. Grimm initially wanted to do it, but I told him it was more important for him to be mingling at the party.
Yeah, and I've got some great B-roll of him, both on the side of him where you can see the penguin, and on the side of him when you can't see the penguin. So you've got options.
So you've looked at him through the camera, is what you're telling me, Don.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, I need you to make me a sanity check. First roll of the game.
Awesome. Hey, somehow I succeeded.
You succeed. When you first looked through the camera, I'm gonna rewind time for a moment. When you first looked through the camera and you first got the angle of him without the penguin, like with the penguin on the side, but then he turns into frame and you see Doris. And sometimes you see things when you look through the camera, don't you, Tanner?
Sometimes.
When you see Doris through the camera, it's like she's staring directly at you. And not just a taxidermied penguin. She looks a little different to you. There's this aura emanating from her. Black, smoky tendrils wisping around her and swirling around Jack Grimm. But it's definitely emanating from her.
And so I think that's when he went all in on the punch.
Yeah. You're able to not be too shaken up by it. Maybe it's just the lighting in here. The lighting in the restaurant itself isn't great. Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's weird. But he's not entirely sure what exactly it was. So when he's talking to her afterwards about it, yeah, I gotta admit, maybe it's the lighting in here, or maybe it's a really kind of strange penguin he's got, right? It's not.
I mean, I think it's an antique.
Yeah, okay. Well, either way, I really think we should just use the B-roll of him without the penguin for whatever it's worth.
That might be best for his image, publicly speaking.
Right.
Right. But we plan on reviewing the footage every evening. We've got someone just to review footage at night. That's their sole purpose for this gig. That way we can speed up production times. So they'll be looking at all the party footage tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, give them my room number. If they have any questions, they can call up. I'm happy
Sure
to help
thing. They're on the
however I
same.
can.
They're on the same floor as you. I'm pretty sure. They might be one floor up, but I'll let them know. Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right,
Let's
well,
do your interview.
All right. Yeah. And he combs through his hair again and tries to straighten his jacket a little bit, but it's not much good. He takes 2 more sips of rum and pops one final cheese in his mouth, swallows it without chewing, and nervously kind of ducks into the room where they're going to be doing the interview.
Yeah. They've brought in a chair from the lobby, so it looks a little bit nicer. It's like a leather chair. Sat there in front of, the camera. Heather set up all the audio. Everything looks pretty good in here. You'll sit down. The chair's pretty comfortable. She lets you put your punch on like a side table next to it. She goes, all right. So, could you please tell us your name and role in this project?
Hi, I'm Tanner Huntington, and I'm just the fella behind the camera here.
Wonderful, wonderful. What made you decide to join this project?
Oh, well, I've had the good opportunity in the past to work with Slazowski's, and I've had a few small projects I've done in LA. And when I heard that, we were going out and they were looking for someone to get some footage of an expedition, something that they might find out here, I felt like maybe it was a good idea to step out of my comfort zone and use everything I've learned and have a little adventure, right?
Yeah, that's lovely, Tanner. What are you most looking forward to on this expedition, let's call it?
Tanner's face freezes for a moment, like he's never even considered this question. He kind of brushes his bangs out of his eyes and says, oh, I think what I'm most looking forward to is being able to capture something on camera that nobody's ever seen before. Something, first time. I just think that would be really phenomenal story I could maybe tell my kids one day.
Yeah, that's very inspiring, Tanner. Just 2 more questions. What are your first impressions of Tierra del Fuego and Ushuaia so far?
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's not like anywhere else I've ever been. The people are so nice here, and there's so much culture. I wish I had maybe had time to kind of study the language a little bit more, but everybody's been so kind. The food here is amazing, and the temperature is actually really nice. I was worried, being this far south, it might be cold, but it's really lovely here.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I don't know actually if Mr. Grimm or Walt has told you this yet, but you're going to be the cameraman that gets to go down into the submersible when it's time. Are you looking forward to it?
Going down, actually in the
sub.
submarine?
Yes, in the sub. The mini sub.
Oh.
Science vessel.
Don't you have to have some kind of special training for that?
Oh, not for camera crew. No.
Oh.
I'm sure Mr. Keys will run you through everything, safety-wise.
Yeah, that's that's gonna be great. Yeah, adventure, right?
Yeah. Wonderful. That's all I have question-wise. Thank you so much, Tanner.
Thank you. He goes for the rum immediately. The punch.
Yep. Yeah, it's there waiting for you. And she'll bring in Heather next for her interview. As you go back out. Maybe a little bit more shaken than you were before you went back in.
He will lean to Heather on the way out and say, "Hey, did you know that I'm going down in the submarine?"
Oh my god, no, I had no idea. That's like amazing.
Are you going down in the submarine?
I know I'm supposed to hook up the sound for the submarine, but I think only 4 people can go down, so.
Oh. Right. Oh.
Makes sense that one of them would be a camera person. That's gonna look so good on your resume.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks for setting this up, Heather.
Yeah, no problem. She's a little pink in the face. She too has been hitting the punch, and she's gonna let Sun in for her interview. And there's more punch should you need it.
I think he puts the punch aside for a little while and just kind of, actually goes and gets some of the local food, which is something he hasn't actually done yet.
Yeah.
And sits down and just starts to absorb. And in his mind is just playing out all the terrible things that could go wrong on a submarine.
Yeah, there's some really tasty looking empanadas there. Not gonna lie. There's like a basket full of them.
Yeah, he'll get way too many empanadas. Like, you don't need that many.
You don't need that many.
He doesn't think about it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And before too long, Heather comes out and Danny goes, Professor, would you like to do your interview now?
Oh, sure. Why not?
All right, thank you.
Puts the whiskey down and heads in.
Well, you can bring it with you. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Little courage.
All right. Nice leather armchair. She sits you down.
Oh.
I'm just gonna ask you 5 questions. All right. Could you tell me your name and role in this project?
Center yourself. Want to be who you want to be. My name is Professor Marvin Howells. I am the expert, and hoping that whatever I find down there, that I'll be able to describe it and share it to the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. What inspired you to join this project?
Oh, well, I knew Mr. Grimm from quite a few different expeditions. He went out of MIT, and I've been in MIT for about 30 years. And I think it was the ability to discover something new, something fresh, something that no one else has ever seen before.
Wonderful. Wow. Very inspiring. What are you looking most forward to about this expedition in particular?
Oh, the discovery. To find something that no one has ever seen before. That is probably the most exciting thing. And the fact that we get to test out the newest technology that people at MIT have been working on.
Yes, the submersible. We're all very excited about that. Speaking of the submersible, are you looking forward to going down in it?
I am. I haven't had a chance. I have seen it being tested a few times in secure locations, of course, but I haven't actually been in it yet. It's actually one of the things that drew me to this as well, to be at the forefront of new technology and discovery. It's, for someone like an aging professor like myself, it is rather exciting to be at the forefront.
Oh, I imagine so. I'm quite excited myself. And what are your impressions of Tierra del Fuego and Ushuaia so far?
Oh, it's a very charming and beautiful place. I haven't had too much time to explore the local place yet. We've too much busy work, as you understand, in preparation for such a thing, but I look forward to doing so in the future.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you for your time, Professor Howells. Please go enjoy yourself at the party.
Thank you so much. Thank you. He gets up and he kind of walks back into the room.
She goes, "Oh, could you actually get me our sub-expert next? Mr. Washburn Keys?"
Yes, of course.
Blonde hair. I think he's pickpocketing the buffet.
Oh, I'll go get him. And he'll head on over to the buffet.
You see, she's like adjusting like a pillow in like the background, like, yeah.
And he'll head on over. Excuse me. He'll tap Wash on the shoulder.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Got me at a bad time.
That's quite all right. They're ready to interview you now. Interview about the expedition and everything.
I already got the job. Like I wasn't told we were supposed to be doing interviews.
I believe this is for the TV show, not for the actual job.
Oh, all right, yeah. By the way, Wash, and he holds his hand out, like hands covered in hot dog. You're not sure it's something.
He'll take it, and Professor Marvin Howells, and he'll take a hanky out and start wiping.
Thanks.
To meet
and
you.
He takes the hanky from the professor and kind of wipes his face off with it. Just like, was it through here?
Yes, just through that room. Just
okay.
Over there. You'll see the lovely woman.
All right. Yeah, I'll figure out where I'm going. And Wash goes into the room.
Mr. Keys, yes. Wash. Please have a seat. We're going to ask you about five questions, sort of behind the scenes of the show. So please, what is your name and role in this project?
Well, I'm Wash Keys. I'm a sub driver. I also a diving expert. I'm licensed ish. I'll be taking us down.
Wonderful. What inspired you to join this project?
Well, what inspired me is I was sitting in my car one day and looking out the window thinking, can I keep living here? And a large trailer was passing by me, something on the back, and they had a flat. And so I helped them change it, and I started out talking to the guy, like, hey, what's this? And they're like, oh, it's like some new sub out of MIT. And I'm like, I'm a sub driver. And they got somebody on the phone, and here I am. So it's just kind of, sometimes life just drops it right in your lap. And, you just got to be willing to be sitting on the side of that road for multiple weeks on end so life can find your lap.
How inspirational, Mr. Wash. What are you most looking forward to on this expedition?
Well, to be honest, have you ever been in a sub? It is compact. There is not a lot of room. So I'm actually wondering who out here is going to be in this thing with me and how long it's going to be until they freak out. If you've never seen the movie Das Boot, it's a great example of life in a submarine. It's actually one of the most, since Run Silent, Run Deep, that is, since that was the gold standard up until Das Boot. But I digress. It can be harrowing.
Well, I certainly hope there's not too much harrowing ness on this expedition. With you at the helm, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Should be.
I can tell you're really looking forward to it. What are your impressions of Tierra del Fuego and Ushuaia so far?
It's great. It's absolutely great. I mean, come on, free food, free booze. I get to sleep in a bed. I'm in heaven right now.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miss Wash. That'll be all for this interview. I look forward to working with you tomorrow.
All right, yeah, you take it easy. I'm gonna go. Pulls out something from his pocket. So I'm gonna see you later.
Okay. All right. Take care. Could you actually send in our mechanic next, Mr. Uriah Pendergast? He's got the mohawk.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I need to say hi to him anyway. We're gonna be best buds.
Yep.
And he goes out and looks around, and then he sees Uriah from across the room. He's like, gives a big wave and like heads right over. And
the entire time that he's crossing, Uriah's thinking, "Please don't be the pilot. Please don't be the pilot. Please don't be the pilot."
Hey, you must be Uriah. I'm your pilot. And he sticks his hand out.
Yeah, he'll shake it.
Oh, that's a hell of a grip you got there.
How long you been piloting?
I mean, off and on, few years, like 4 years.
Favorite band?
Oh, I mean, I grew up on the Beach Boys, but I'm more like, I guess, I gotta say, I'm more into like the Kinks.
You have bought a stay of execution from Uriah. Nice to meet you.
Well,
What's going on in there?
They're doing interviews. It's not for the job. You already got the job. I was a little scared about that. But, yeah, it's a TV thing. I don't know.
Okay. And he just walks off towards the door.
Having finished fluffed yet another pillow for the background, you see an armchair, and Danny, she goes, yes, Mr. Raya, please, could you have a seat? I have only about 5 questions to ask of you for this interview for the behind-the-scenes feature of this show. All right. What is your name and role in the project?
Uriah Pendergast, I'm the mechanic.
Wonderful. What inspired you to join this project?
The paycheck.
I sympathize.
By the way, is there any way to figure out how much everyone's getting paid for this? Because I'm supposed to be at the top. That was the deal.
There's a lot of NDAs that people had to sign, but I assure you, your pay is above and beyond what any normal mechanic would have been paid.
I like the sound of that.
Wonderful. What are you most looking forward to on this expedition?
Getting paid?
Okay.
I'm not into the science stuff.
Right. What are your first impressions of Tierra del Fuego and Ushuaia so far?
Well, I got into a fist fight trying to get my bag, so pretty good.
Okay. You see, her making a mental note to, check something later, but then carries on. And are you looking forward to going into the submersible?
It's part of the job. Who else going down there, by the way? Obviously, the pilot.
Yes, the sub-pilot, Wash. We also have the cameraman, Tanner Huntington, and Professor Martin Howells.
Okay. Have you told Wash that yet?
Well, I don't think I'm fairly certain he's been told. Whether he paid attention is another story.
Can I be there when you tell him again?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
Okay.
And for the first time, he smiles.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Uriah. I'll let you get back to the party. I hope you're enjoying yourself.
It's great. And he walks out.
Okay. You walk out, and Jack Grimm passes by you with Doris to go have his interview.
He would actually say, Doris, Jack.
He'll be like, all right, Raya. And he'll go on in and do his interview. And after his interview... I need... One moment. I must get into... No, wrong jacket! My god! I'm a mess!
Like an episode of SNL.
You know what we got to do? All of us have to, don't listen, Lindy. We all have to have separate conversations that are interspersed with each of the individual NPCs just so we can have 10 seconds of transitional quick change.
So after his interview, you see, your dear sponsor for this expedition, Jack Grimm, come out with Doris. And, he has his scotch glass, and he, for once I have a spoon, okay? He's like, Everyone, I would like to make a toast to this expedition. Please, I'll give you all a moment to get your glasses. And he looks like he's gonna take a sip, but then realizes it's a toast, and he shouldn't have it up. I've been dreaming about this expedition for the past year now, and I'm so very glad to be able to share this experience with you. We are going to discover absolutely amazing things beyond our comprehension, and I look forward to the day when we get to share this reveal, these wonderful new discoveries with the world. To you guys. And then he steps down from the chair that he had shakily stepped on to make his toast, and goes to refill his scotch. The party is lovely. Heather is definitely shadowing you, Tanner, but if you ever ask her for like more cheese or another drink, she is more than happy to go get that for you, and usually gets distracted talking to someone also at the buffet for about 10 to 20 minutes each time as well.
Now, I think Tanner, is actually rather happy in small doses for Heather's company because he feels anxious about the submarine news. But comes a point, and he stopped drinking his punch even when he toasted. Like, he held up his glass and then he set it aside. And he's eaten as many empanadas as he possibly can. And there comes a time when, he catches Heather while she's speaking to someone else at the bar. And he waves to her and holds up a finger and say 1 minute. And he gets up and he's going to look around and start asking around for the submarine pilot.
Yeah, it doesn't take you long. Basically, the second person you ask is just points over to Wash.
Thank you. Where would he find Wash?
I can't see. All right. Now, Wash is in the corner talking to some other party goer, telling some kind of wild, outlandish story.
They're just eating a very sad cheese plate. I can't escape.
Tanner does that thing where he doesn't interrupt, but he's very tall and he kind of hunches a little bit. And he gets a glass of water or something like that. And he's just kind of nodding like he's listening to your story as you're telling it. But he doesn't say anything. He's just kind of off on the side.
Okay. Yeah. And it sounds like that Wash is getting to the end because he's basically just like, and that's like only the second time that I had to sink a sub. I mean, it's more of a rite of passage, really. But it was really just because it was off balance. I mean, we had a guy and he kind of looks over, he's like, I mean, when you get a guy like this in one of these subs, the weight distribution is all kinds of crazy. So, it's just one of those things you have to look out for. Oh, by the way, and Tanner, I'm Wash.
Hey, Wash. It's good to meet you. I'm Tanner. I'm the camera guy. I'm kind of responsible for setting everything up here tonight for us. And
you did a good job with the interview camera, by the way. It was pointed right at me. So good job.
Yeah, that's what I do, and I think I'm going to be doing it more for you because I just found out that I'm going down on the submarine for the expedition.
Awesome. That's great.
To take footage and get one-on-one close-up, I guess, interviews while we're down there.
How are you at laying down for long periods of time?
I do it every single day, but how long are we talking?
I mean, whatever it takes, right? We just want to go down and come back up.
Hey, listen, do I need to be worried? Should I be, because I've not had any kind of training or anything, and I'm kind of scared of enclosed spaces, so.
Just watch the movie Das Boot, you'll be fine. It's basically a training video.
German horror movie, or?
If that's the way you want to phrase it, it's a war movie. That's all, really. But it's about life on a sub.
Okay.
Some people think it glorifies the Germans too much. I think it more humanizes the rigors and horrors of war. But it's a good representation of a submarine experience.
All right. Yeah. Sure. I'll do some studying for sure. I just thought I would introduce myself and tell you, you're the captain. So, if you'd rather them send somebody else down there with you, I totally get it.
Hey, like I said, kid, that camera in the interview room is pointed right at me. You're obviously the guy for this job. I believe in you.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Well, I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. And please, if you have any tips or anything, how to calm your nerves, down there, or anything like that, I'd appreciate it.
Hey, listen, best advice I can give, every meal, you want to eat as much as you can, because every meal is your last meal until you have another, right? So you just want to make sure you're fully fueled.
He looks over at his plate of half-eaten empanadas across the room. All right, well, thanks for the advice, Wash, Captain.
Yep, and then Wash pulls a piece of a hot dog out of his right cargo pocket and is like, good on you.
Right, enjoy the party. And he turns around and kind of whispers the name Das Boot, Das Boot, Das Boot to himself.
You are more than able to do that. The party carries on. It starts winding down. 10 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Some people start trickling back up because filming does start tomorrow, so it's not going to be too late of a venture unless you make it. So, when does everybody start winding down? Is there any other scenes anyone wants to get before I'll tuck yourselves in for them? Okay. So, y'all go to bed. The beds are fairly comfortable. Not the best, but definitely not the worst you've ever slept on. Just comfortable. You're gonna get some good sleep here. Speaking of which, how does everyone sleep away from home? Some people have a real hard time with it. Other people are just fine. Light sleepers, heavy sleepers. Just out of curiosity, let's start with Wash. For some reason, I imagine you're a heavy sleeper who sleeps great anywhere.
Listen, if is it not the backseat of a '79 Pinto, well, then it's going to be great because that's where Wash usually sleeps. Mm-hmm. I really hope that's an actual year model for that car, but if not, we can change it in post.
It's fine.
But,
change it in post.
So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to say that Wash, I mean, if the music continues, I'm going to say that our mechanic can probably hear the snoring cutting through the music. That's how deep Wash is sleeping.
Okay. We'll go over to our mechanic then. Is the music still going? How do you sleep away from home?
Oh, I think Uriah would have no problem whatsoever sleeping. He would be completely naked in an X on the bed, with a cigarette in his mouth, probably falls asleep that way. If he can hear the snoring, it would just accentuate this magical experience that he's having so far in this. place that fits his personality to a T.
Does the music turn off? Do you turn off the music? Or does it go all night?
He would not turn it off. If he's asked to turn it off, he probably would. Depends on who would ask him.
I think no one asks this first night, but I think tomorrow night you're gonna get asked to have it off for sleeping hours.
Oh, well, this is Cthulhu. I could easily be dead by then. So, yeah.
This is fair. What about our good professor? You are on the 3rd floor. You hear music from below you. It's not as loud, but it's you definitely still hear music. Yeah.
I like to think that he sleeps fairly well wherever. He's used to a nice bed. But he's got like one of those face masks, and he's even probably got like maybe even like sleeping earmuffs so that to dad. So it's like a perfect. He's got like a somewhat like a routine to kind of get him to sleep. It might have been slightly inconvenient with the music for a little bit, but it probably wouldn't take him too long just to fall asleep after a little nightcap just to help. And it's late. It's like 10, 11 o'clock. That's late.
It is.
You know?
Sleeping good. And then that leaves just dear Tanner. How does Tanner sleep this evening?
Yeah, I think he probably starts packing up before the party ends, has to turn in film and whatnot so they can review it overnight. And it takes a while. So by the time he's finished, the party's probably already winded down, and he might be one of the last people to head up. I think he's starting to feel the tiredness from a day of, travel and news and, high energy people being around him. He would check in with Heather first just to make sure she had a fun time.
Oh, she had a great time, and she'll offer to help you carry up the film and stuff to turn it in.
Yeah, he would thank her for that too. It'd be nice to have the help. So yeah, I guess the two of them would turn in all of their film and whatnot. He's got his camera, his one camera that actually belongs to him, and then the rest are that from the company or whoever rented or purchased them. And he would ask Heather to have a cigarette with him. He doesn't smoke often. It's a habit that he has a hard time quitting, but he would ask her to have a cigarette with him, and then promptly ask her, "Do you have a cigarette?"
Oh, yeah. I think I have a couple. Hold on, let me get Heathered up. She's probably ditched the denim at this point, because you guys are like winding down. And she doesn't want her denim jacket to smell like smoke. She'll be like, here you go.
I'd reach out and grab
she
the
doesn't
cigarette.
smoke often, but she does if she's like really stressed.
Okay.
So, but she'll have a cigarette with you. If you ask to have a cigarette with her, she will have a cigarette.
And so he smokes and he doesn't say anything. Find like a balcony or step outside somewhere.
You're able to step outside. There's no balconies to this place, but the streets are dead quiet at this time.
He goes through almost the entire cigarette without saying anything, just looking out and breathing. And when it's almost to the last puff, that's when he'll say, "Heather, can I tell you something really weird?"
Of course. You can tell me anything, right?
Yeah, I know. Thank you. You don't review any of the footage, do you? They don't let you do that.
I mean, if I asked, I could, because I could say there's a sound discrepancy or whatever, and I want to check it out. I don't normally, though. Do you want me to?
I just I don't know. I saw something really strange when I was setting up the camera and getting some B-roll earlier tonight. And it's not the first time. And sometimes, I've got a big imagination, and I see things that, aren't really there. It's just, my brain spinning around in circles and whatnot. But this was really strange. And I don't want to ask to review the footage. And I got to watch find somebody who's got this movie Das Boot soon before I go down.
Well, there was that video rental place, so like,
Okay.
I know we talked about Star Wars, but I could check to see if they have Das Boot, and then we could watch that.
You want to watch Das Boot with me?
I'd love to watch Das Boot with you.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't. It sounds like it's probably a scary movie, so I wouldn't mind having the company.
Yeah. No, like I would totally watch Das Boot with you, and I could review the footage if you want. You don't have to be there, like just to see if there's anything weird. Because
I just want a second opinion. That's all. Somebody I trust, and I know.
I've seen some weird stuff. Like my great aunt Lena, she's into some weird stuff. Like kind of like occult kind of things sometimes, and she claims to have seen some. She's seen some shit. My grandfather says so. Yeah, no, I believe you.
Yeah, it might be nothing, right? I just want
it
somebody
probably is, but I'll look at it for you. Yeah.
Thank you, Heather. I don't tell you this enough, but you've been really great to me, and I think this is a big thing for me being out here. I don't know honestly if I could do it without you. So thank you.
Shucks. Well, like it's nothing really. I'm just really happy to be working on this project with you.
Takes the last puff of the cigarette and flicks it out over the balcony and says, "All right, well, good night."
Okay. She puts her cigarette out in like the ashtray outside, and yeah, I'll walk you to your room. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
And then I'll go review the footage.
And he slows down.
She'll walk you to your room. She's a little fidgety, but she doesn't say anything. She lets you. She gives you a little bit of space, and then she says, "Have a good night. See you bright and early in the morning."
Yeah.
You could go to a lake.
I know. I'll see you in the morning, Heather.
Okay.
He closes the door very quickly, and then it doesn't. Not describing it, but it takes him a long time to get to sleep.
Oh, yeah, and there's also that music in the background. You and Heather are also on the second floor, but you're the first two rooms, like rooms 1 and 2. They're from a couple doors down, and it's not quiet.
All right, so he'll be the person then who probably like an hour and a half later, because he just can't. He's already nervous. He can't sleep, and an hour and a half later, probably like he's taken off. He's probably in whatever it has for close to pajamas, right? Slippers that he bought especially for this expedition, not knowing what it was going to be. Oversized slippers, and he steps down the hall and lingers outside the door for a moment and then knocks a couple of times. Not super loud, just loud enough that he hopes whoever's on the other side can hear.
It would be pretty close after like the last knock and then the pause that the door would swing open and Uriah would be there nude. Yes.
Whoa. Hey. Nothing. I didn't mean to bother you or anything. I'm here with this expedition crew, and it's really late. And I'm trying to get to sleep, and I'm sorry. I'm just nervous, and your music's a little loud. It's just a little loud, man. It's just a little loud.
I'll bring it down.
Hey, thanks.
You're part of the sub crew.
Yeah. I just found out tonight. I'm the camera guy, and I guess they want me to go down there with the rest of the crew. Are you part of the sub crew? And he looks back for a second, then looks away again very quickly.
I'm the mechanic. I make sure everything works and stays working, and when it breaks, I fix it. So yeah, I'm going down.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm really happy that you're going to be down there. Listen, I talked to the captain, Captain Wash, earlier, and he told me.
Did you?
I did. Yeah. He didn't seem as nervous as I feel about getting on that submarine without any experience, and he told me to watch the movie Das Boot. I don't know anything about it. Is he messing with me? I can't tell.
I met him too, and I'm not sure if he's messing with you, but don't watch that.
Oh.
Listen,
Why?
I appreciate you coming and telling me about the music. I didn't realize. I thought these rooms were a little bit thicker. Listen, if you're going down the first time, this is your first time in a sub.
Yeah, it's my first time.
Okay. Well, listen, as long as you don't hear anything, silence is golden. When we go down there, I mean, if you hear like a ping or, like a knocking sound, that's bad. It's really bad. Silence is golden. And my boats are always silent.
Oh, I didn't know I didn't know that. So yeah, so I keep quiet. I listen, and I don't have to worry unless I hear like knocking or some sounds or something.
Right. It's silence. The silence is we're under the water, I mean, if you hear the water bubble or something, that's the water. But if you hear something in the boat, like a knock or a ping, pings are we'll be fine. I'll make sure. I've never had a boat knock on me before.
All right, good. Well, it's a big relief. Thank you. And now that I know that, I know to listen. Thank you. And I'm sorry about it. Listening to music and everything. If you don't mind, just a little bit. I really need to get some rest, man.
Consider it done. And he goes back and turns it off, and you get a full view of his ass. And then he turns back around. He says, "Sound good?"
Yeah. Tanner. My name is Tanner. I guess I'll be seeing you around.
Tanner, Uriah. I'll see you. I'll be the guy that's covered in grease.
And then he holds for a minute, realizing he's looking in, but like he probably shouldn't be. And then he turns and closes his eyes and walks off down the hall.
You walk off down the hall.
Uriah goes over to the nightstand that has, I'm assuming, like a little notepad there or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he would take the pencil and lick the end of it as he's smoking. And he would write down, "Buck with pressure gauge, first thing in boat."
And that's the scene fades there. And as you're going to, just as you're about to open your door, Tanner, to finally get some sleep, you see Heather come back down the stairs. She's wearing a pink nightgown with like the shoulder ruffles and Garfield on it. And she goes, oh my gosh, like, so I reviewed the footage. I just want like fast forwarded through it with Dave. And I didn't see anything super weird. I mean, it's the only weird thing I noticed was on the footage, no matter what angle it is, that penguin always looks like it's looking at you. It's kind of creepy.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't like notice any like weird lighting or anything around the penguin?
I didn't notice anything like that though. But definitely like let me know if you see it again, because
no, it's
it
like
could
I
be
said,
like
it's...
something that you only see live.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, sometimes my imagination just kind of runs away.
That's
away from
me.
It
happens to everyone,
Well, all right. Well, thank you, Heather. And you know what? Let's do Star Wars after all. All right?
Okay. Yeah. I'll go check out the video store. See if they have it.
Yeah. And Das Boot, not necessary. I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that sounds great. All right. I'll see you in the morning.
All right. Good night, Heather.
Good night. Close her door.
Floppy flippers back into this room.
Yep. So the night passes, everyone gets a decent night's sleep, some better than others, and the next morning, bright and early, you hear like knocking just on everyone's doors at like the time where you're supposed to be like about 30 minutes, probably actually about 45 minutes before it's time to leave. Just the knocking down in case you're not already awake and getting ready to be like, hey, time to get up, people.
I like to think Marvin's already down in the cafe reading a paper and having a coffee.
There's like eggs and bacon for breakfast and lots of coffee. It's pretty good. It's good coffee. Very good coffee.
Is there anyone else down at that moment?
Oh, of course there is. Mr. Jack Grimm is down there, having breakfast with Walt Thomas.
Oh, okay. So
And Doris has her own seat. It's like one of those like 4-chair tables. She has her own seat and like plate and cup, but there's nothing in the plate or the cup, but it's there in front of her.
Okay. So Marvin will head on over. Sorry to disturb you all. May I join you this morning for breakfast?
Oh, of course you can. That would be most honored to have our dear professor join us for breakfast.
Thank you so much. How did you all sleep? I hope you all slept very well.
Like a baby. Like a baby. Doris also has her scarf done different this morning.
Marvin is literally sat next to Doris, and he's always constantly just kind of next to the penguin all the time.
Yep.
And so I heard today we're heading to the lake. I guess for the final tests.
Oh, we're not testing the sub at the lake. No, we're going diving. There's some of the artifacts. Many have been washing up on the shore of the beaches here, but it's a glacial lake, Laguna Esmeralda, and
I see.
It's
so we'll
interesting because similar artifacts have been appearing on the lake shores as well. We think from recent glacial melt, and if there's some on the if it's not from glacial melt, that means it's from the bottom of the lake. So we were gonna have a couple people go diving down and check out the bottom of the lake, see if they find any artifacts, bring them up for you to examine.
It's truly fascinating. Do you have any artifacts up here just yet from the ones previously discovered?
So most of them have been picked up by the locals. I've got Danielle, that lovely Danielle lady. She's been coordinating with our local translator, Amelia. They've been trying to arrange a time with some of these locals who have gotten these artifacts to have interviews with them and have you look at what they've gotten as well. But I figured since that's not quite arranged yet, we'd go to the lake today.
Whatever's best for you. Whatever's best for you. Yes. And he takes a bit of toast and just kind of.
Yes.
Well, that's good. Do you know when we're actually planning on going into the submarine at this?
Oh,
at this present
8 to 10 days.
8 to 10 days. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. I just want to get prepared. You understand?
Oh, yes, of course.
I've never been in one before. It's very exciting indeed.
Very exciting. Yes.
And
adventure.
I noticed that it would be myself and 3 others.
Yes, it'll be yourself, the sub-pilot, our mechanic, and a camera boy.
And the camera boy, yes. I was just wondering if you could, because I don't know them really, if you could just tell me a little bit about themselves, just get to know the
How
crew.
about this? When they all come down for breakfast, we'll sit y'all at that table right there, and y'all can get to know each other then.
Yes?
I'll even put you in the same car for driving up to Laguna Esmeralda.
I'm sure that will be fine.
Great.
What's good, like a jolly drive up to the, half-hour drive?
About 3 hours.
3 hours. I'm sure, yes, there's plenty of time to get to know.
There used to be a
another,
train that ran up there, made by the prisoners in the 1920s, but it's been defunct for quite some time. So.
Right, okay. It just gives us plenty of time to get to know each other. And I suppose if we're going to be in that cramped, we're going to have to really know each other. Did Doris sleep well?
She slept great as well.
That's good. That's very good. Well then, in that case, I better sit over there and wait for the others to come down.
Yep.
Lovely talking to you.
I'll send them your way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And he'll get up, head on over, take a newspaper, and then just sit down at that table and start reading. But every so often, his eyes will just peer over to the penguin and see what they're doing. Whether it's passing.
Doris never moves. Doris just sits there like an inanimate taxidermied penguin from the 1800s.
It's more checking on Grim to see if he hasn't absolutely lost his mind.
He keeps offering her like breakfast. Like, are you sure you don't want any bacon? All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
For me, and he offers her everything that he's partaking of.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
keeps making conversation more at the director than with the director. He just seems he's on a cigarette. You've never seen him not holding a cigarette, the director. Yeah. But yeah.
Can I hear like specifically what they're saying, or am I too far away? Just like to get the general gist.
Give me a listen check.
Okay.
This is a game. We have roles for these things.
We have roles. I need to find it first. Where is it? There we go. I failed miserably. The rustling of the paper is too much.
Yeah, and then like there's the clinking of like the dishware around you.
Mm-hmm. And the ears aren't as young as they used to be.
Yeah. You see like just a lot of nodding and like drinking of coffee and smoking a cigarette and then coffee and then the cigarette, and then he gets more coffee, and he gets up. Who would be next down for breakfast?
I'd have Uriah come down.
All right, Uriah, you come down and you see the producer getting coffee. You don't know what cup of coffee that is, but he asks the staff to put on another pot. He goes, Uriah, we're having the sub crew have breakfast together this morning, so it's our professor guy wants to get to know everyone better. So if you could just sit at that table, that'd be like great.
Has the pilot been down yet? Has Wash seen this?
No, not yet, no.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Walt, Jack, doors, and then he goes over and gets some food. As the West Virginia slips out a little bit when he gets excited.
Yeah, so you're sitting there, Professor, and Uriah sits down next to you.
Oh, he folds the paper down and puts it away.
Uriah
Pleasure to meet
Pendergast.
you. My name Professor Marvin Howells. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, pleasure is all mine. What are you professor of, Professor?
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Mostly anthropology, archaeology, and a dash of geology.
Did you see Raiders of the Lost Ark?
I have, yes. It was a somewhat exhilarating look at what I do. Profession had no bearing whatsoever on my decision to join this. It was good entertainment.
I also too. Just your first time down in a sub?
It is, yes. I've seen them being tested at MIT and going down and all the pressure and everything like that. Don't know much about the mechanics, but I understand the gist of it, I suppose. What's your role in this, if you don't mind me asking?
I keep the boat from looking like this.
Oh, so you're the mechanic to prevent catastrophic decompression.
That's the goal.
Oh, jolly good. It was wonderful to see you. Have you had a chance to have a look at this submarine? Top of the line technology, I've heard.
Lindy, I'm assuming that they probably sent specs. Yes,
you've gotten specs. It wasn't named yet when you got it because the college campus was having a competition to like name the sub, like they do. Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in the flesh, so to speak, but I've seen the specs. Everything looks good.
But
it's jolly small, but good.
Well, I suppose such things need to be. I guess I've never seen a big sub, although I have heard this might be the biggest sub that has ever been made. I don't know about that for sure. I'd need to research it, I guess. Yes.
At that moment, who else walks down?
I think this is a good moment for Wash to descend for breakfast.
You descend. The director is getting yet another cup of coffee. He's getting another refill.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
and he's gonna go. I'm gonna go to the buffet and fill up with all the regulars. And he sits down and then he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a hot dog from last night and eats a little bit of it.
Wash. Subman, diving guy. Yep. Putting you to work later. For now. Our professor wants to meet the subcrew, so if you could just have breakfast with them. That table over there.
Oh, yeah. Hey, sure. I was gonna talk to y'all later about payment, but we can talk later. It's fine.
Yep.
Let's meet the crew.
Have fun.
And he'll take his plate and sit down.
Yeah, Uriah would actually stand up and wave. Wash!
And Wash gives him a wave, and he excuses himself from the big wigs and goes over with the crew. Like, oh, little morning breakfast, as opposed to afternoon, I guess.
I don't know if you've met. Wash is the professor. Professor, this is our pilot.
We briefly
Professor's
met
going down with us.
last night. Yes. Eventually, when we go down the sub.
And Wash kind of like looks at the professor and kind of looks at Uriah and is like, all right. Yeah, can't wait to see how this will work out.
Well, I mean, you are all fully trained and know what you're doing, so I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine, yes?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Well, I was just thought it would be a good idea to get us all together, and we're going to be in the submarine together for quite a bit, so I thought it'd be jolly good to get to know each other. And I was just talking to Uriah here about his role and being the mechanic to ensure that we don't die a horrible grisly death down there.
Yeah, he's got to keep the balance tanks balanced. Yeah.
And we were just, it looked like that you knew each other. Do you two know each other?
No, we met last night.
No.
But we're both of the craft, so I think there's a kindred spirit kind of thing going on. But I feel that way with most humans.
Right, fast friends, I assume. Fast best friends, you two. Yes?
Yep, all the way to the bottom.
Wonderful.
I
Wonderful.
wish you would have saved that comment.
And I think this is when Tanner would come down.
As soon as Uriah would see Tanner and that comment just came out from Wash, he would be like, damn it.
Heather is already sitting down, and she goes to wait for you, but in front of her steps the director, like she's in the background, and he's like, "Hey kid, Professor wants to get to know the subcrew. Have breakfast with them."
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Hey,
have fun.
do you think I don't know? I feel so awkward asking you this, but maybe you should get a picture of us.
Picture of you guys, the subcrew.
The subcrew.
I'll have Danny do it.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. And he's got his little shoulder bag, right, with several cameras, and he'd provide a camera, to Danny in passing, wave to Heather and hold up a hand, and then go and sit down at the table with
Danny
the other three.
would say something to Heather, and she'd slump a bit, but move her plate over to where some of the other crew members are and have a good time. Danny will take your camera. Go, all right. So, everybody. Lens cap. Don't want to forget that. All right, everyone. On 3. 1, 2. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That'll look great. Okay, have fun. I'm gonna be driving the vehicle, so after breakfast, in about another 25 minutes, we're gonna hit the road. Okay, great.
Thanks, Danny.
Please, come join us. We're just getting to know each other.
Yeah, thanks. Great. And thank you all for inviting me or being willing to have me on board. Thanks for the advice last night. And he points to Wash and then to Uriah. I'm feeling a little bit better about it today, and I just want to know how I can help make sure this is as quiet of a ride as possible.
Well, I mean, everybody can do only so much, but yeah, I get you.
They will be talking, of course. I suppose we're going to be allowed to talk.
Interviews and insights, and if it's just the four of us down there, I think there was a short list of pretty simple interview questions and whatnot before. But if it's just the four of us, we can really go ham on it, as long as I've got the spare battery and we've got the film to roll. I think we can get it all, right?
What do you mean by going ham?
Oh, well,
I think it's a radio term.
Oh.
So instead of just asking these sort of box questions that you always get in these sort of documentaries, what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to? What do you hope to find down there? I think there's an opportunity for some real insights into, not just the expedition, but also, and he points back to Uriah and Wash. I think people would be excited to know, who are the people, what makes them tick, the kinds of people who make a submarine work. Most people ain't ever seen into the inside of a real submarine before. And if we do find something down there, then I don't want you to feel like you have to give the commercialized answer as to what it is, Professor. I want to know anything that's on your mind.
Oh, right. Well, I have been known to ramble a bit and kind of offshoot of being a professor and teaching. I will do my best not to go on too long and go straight to the meaty stuff. If we find anything.
Right.
Fingers
yeah.
Crossed.
Of course.
How, in regards, so you're going to be constantly filming all the time, or like
as much as I can, as long as it's not a safety matter. He looks back at the captain.
Hey, I don't want to step on your toes. Okay, I'm gonna be up front, driving the sub. You do what you do. Just try not to, move too much.
Right. Or make too much noise. Right.
Yeah.
I suppose it's easy to pick up on the camera.
As Wash kind of like looks over his shades over at Uriah, like.
There's no reaction, just another lengthy draw on the cigarette in lieu of popcorn.
So, we'll be quiet, not really interrupt, any of the stuff that's going on up front. But yeah, anything we can get, any film we can get, not just of what we find or don't find, but of the people too. I think, the more we get, the more kinds of stories they can tell, and maybe we'll find something special. I don't know.
The only thing I ask is, if you're going to ask me a question, put the camera on me, just give me a quick warning beforehand, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, everyone, time to head to the vehicles. We are going to Laguna Esmeralda.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to find some artifacts there. Fingers crossed, it could be a very exciting morning.
All right. You all get loaded up into the vehicles and you drive. And then you get stopped for a little bit because there's a herd of guanaco crossing the road. They look a lot like llamas or alpacas, but they're a little bit more distinctively colored and they're not domesticated. There's like a herd of them going around. She's like, Move out of the road! Dun, 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 dun. And they just take their time going across. Just like, oh, finally. And I would like everyone to make spot hidden checks while you're on the road. Tanner and Uriah. Okay, so you both, I'll go over what you both see, and then because Uriah got a hard success, he gets to do a little extra. You both spot, the train that you've heard rumored about that used to run from just outside of Ushuaia up to where all the lumber was harvested back in the day to build a lot of Ushuaia and to ship out and export. You see like an old engine with a bunch of cars on tracks, but Uriah, when you look at it, being the mechanic that you are, this doesn't exactly look defunct. It looks, the track looks pretty clear except for a couple of easily moved branches right closer to the road area. And, yeah, it doesn't look nearly as defunct as you would think it to be.
He would bring that up with everybody then. It doesn't look like the train is broken. It looks intact.
It ran out of fuel.
I mean, maybe. Is it like a steam or like a coal or is
it's coal.
I mean,
it's coal. Looks like a coal train.
yeah. He would look at the professor, questioning his credentials for a second and be like,
recently, like the tracks have, like, everything's been recently maintained almost as you're like driving by it.
like restored or
Yeah, not quite restored, but made functional again. Like it definitely looks like it was defunct. Like you see the old station house there, it looks like shit. But the train itself, you see fresh grease like on the wheels.
Mhm.
You see the tracks look really clear.
He'd point that
for
out then.
something
He'd be like,
defunct.
look at the grease on the wheels. The tracks are clear except for those branches right there. This thing's running.
I mean, are we gonna take the train somewhere?
I mean, they said that's why we're taking cars because we couldn't take the train, but the train's been running. I mean,
You give me 10 minutes, I bet I could get that thing going.
Well, we've already taken the cars out, says, Danny from the front. She's, I was informed by the locals that, and the hotel staff, that the train definitely wasn't operational. That's weird. Maybe there's, to talk to our translator, maybe there's a translation issue, but we'll just take the cars today. It's just not a big deal. But maybe we'll take some camera footage on the way back to, it looked good in the TV show,
Lindy, is there any indication of actual personnel by the train, or is it just a
You don't see any
well-oiled
people.
machine?
It just looks like it's been recently made usable again. Maybe it's seen some recent use, but you don't see a living soul by it or in the vicinity.
Uriah would definitely not think this is a hill to die on, so just let it drop. So he pointed it out. That's that.
Okay.
But Wash would regale them with his stories of hopping trains for about a year and a half, and a good conductor friend of his that taught him how to drive.
Oh, look, we're here.
Tanner might take a couple of quick snapshots as they're
Of the
whizzing
train?
by.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
That's easy enough to do. Just right out the window and. Do you have photography as a skill?
I do.
Could you just give me a photography check just to see how good the pictures are?
Oh, right. It's
Do they spot the creature behind?
under arts. I have cinematography. Is that usable
You
here?
could use that, yeah.
Okay.
You know how to use one camera, the still camera's just... Sure,
Uh,
yeah, you get some really nice
success.
shots. You get some really nice shots of it.
And I don't think he looks at them immediately.
Yeah. So you get
He can't.
you get to like a little parking lot. You can't. Yep. You
Unless
get
it's
to
a
the
Polaroid.
unless you get to the parking lot of Laguna Esmeralda. It's about a mile away from the parking lot. It's not that far. You see the director get out of there's a truck in front of you, like a van, with all his stuff in there. And, he's got a coffee cup. You see someone with a thermos, like, fill it up for him? He's like, alright, people. We're gonna walk to the lake. Everyone grab a box of something. We're gonna need it. Well, after we get there, Wash and, Tanner, you guys are gonna get in the wetsuits. And you're gonna go under there and you're gonna do some diving for artifacts, get some footage, make it look real nice. Alright, cool. And starts walking up the path, not carrying a box. At all.
Cool.
So-
Yeah. Tanner, Wash immediately starts heading over to where the suits are, checking them out.
Mm-hmm. They're nice. They look recently acquired. It looks like, at least for safety's sake, the wetsuits appear to be new and not used equipment, unlike a lot of other things that Tanner has seen about video and audio equipment being perhaps used or not the newest and latest and greatest. But this is a good wetsuit.
We bring the baby powder?
Yes, there is baby powder there.
Okay.
Tanner, have you ever
trust
been
me,
diving
Tanner.
before?
I think he's not been diving, but maybe like he does swim a lot. He's been in wetsuits before. He's taken
Cool.
some like barely underwater footage, but just like, practice.
Cool.
But yeah, he's from California, so
I
he's spent
figured.
time on the beach and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I knew we're kindred spirits. I'm from Akron, Ohio, so we both
Same.
Yeah,
Exact
same
same.
difference. I cut my teeth in Springfield Lake, so yeah. Wash starts just getting into the suit.
Yeah, same for Tanner.
Marvin is going to actually start setting up maybe a table so that he can examine the artifacts almost like instantaneously as they come up. And he's going to have lighting and stuff. And is there any other filming people there, like Heather? Or...
Heather's there. There's a couple other people there that are just like assistants for Tanner and Heather. Like, move this cable, plug that in, hook up the generator. Laguna Esmeralda, once you go up the mile trail, everyone carries all the stuff. It's beautiful. It's you realize that it's got like a beautiful green-blue color, crystal clear. You see mountains framing it in the vicinity. It's got a rocky beach. The mountains are snow-capped, and you see the glacial melt into there. That water is going to be cold.
So he'll set it up, and he'll coordinate with the other film crew.
Yes.
For them to kind of where do you want me? So they get the best picture and stuff.
Yeah.
of,
Danny will
when
help
he's
coordinate
working.
you with that. She'll have you set up a table and stuff.
And
She'll
I
even
would
have
like-
boxes for specimens and artifacts
That's
that
it,
might be
yeah.
found. Yeah.
Talk
She-
about that, and then Marvin's going to go over to Wash. And so Wash, these are the specimen boxes that you need to put them in. It is of vital importance that they go inside these boxes because the difference of coming out into the air can ruin the specimens. Okay?
Wait, you don't want a specimen from me?
No. The specimens in the water, the artifacts.
Oh, the artifacts. Okay, sorry, I just got confused. I just went to a doctor's appointment, so my bad.
Are you okay?
We'll see.
Takes a step back and pushes the boxes. So if you just put these in there, very gently, as best as you can, and bring it up, and we should hopefully be on a winner. Keep an eye out. Have you ever done artifact hunting before?
I mean, I've done some, I've used a metal detector. I've found some stuff before, sure.
Underwater, have you found any?
I mean, at the beach.
At the beach. Okay. Well, if you take a look at these, and he brings out this kind of almost like a scrapbook. And he takes it over, and he's got some Polaroids. Right, but this is kind of what it would look like in the water. It may look like just a normal rock, or just completely covered in sediment, or sand, or mud, or whatever. And you have to be very delicate. Do you want me to show you how to get it out of this? Are you okay with that? Have you ever?
Yeah, I mean, I'd use my hands, right? Or do we have a tool?
I mean, you can use your hands.
Am I
but
the
there
tool?
are tools that are there to help get out the sediment so you don't damage the artifact. It's very important that the artifacts aren't too much damaged. You understand? And they've been out. They could have been there for thousands of years. So we have to be careful with it.
Oh, man, makes you think, right? Like all the stuff that we make now that breaks down in like 5 years, and people used to make stuff that we're digging up. Like, got to think, are we doing it wrong?
I tend to not think like that. I tend to think that
Oh,
they
sorry.
probably didn't.
I'll get you specimens, though. Don't worry, Doc.
Oh, thank you very much. And yes, in the boxes. Remember, in the boxes.
Yep.
All right, if everyone's ready, we are going
Yes,
to do the dive. All right, Wash, Tanner. Tanner, you've got this big camera in a box, because that's how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got your equipment, you're all suited up, you're hooked up with the scuba tanks and the gear and everything. They're like, all right, you're gonna go down, look for some artifacts. We're gonna have stuff over here. Talk about the artifacts that we are hopefully going to find. If not, I have a backup plan. And if you see any beavers, don't antagonize them. They're a nuisance in the area. And like, there's a lot of them. So, okay, go on. Oh, start rolling. So it's like the onshore crew, and they start rolling. And
He does the thumbs up to Wash, helmet on, finishes strapping up big box, and starts to slowly wade into the lake.
And as the two of you disappear beneath the surface of the lake, that is where we're going to end our episode for this evening. Alright, everyone. We're gonna go around, we're gonna say who we are, where we can find you, if at all, and what your favorite moment from tonight's episode was. We will go, I don't remember the order we started in, but we're gonna go in, I think, reverse order. Pruitt, how was tonight for you? Wash.
Tonight was awesome. Getting back together with this group brings so much joy to my heart, and my rib cage is actually hurting from my heart expanding. So, I don't know what the best moment tonight was. There are a lot, but I gotta say probably Pendergast answering the door in the buff. That was just like a spot on perfect moment. I don't know.
Wonderful, wonderful. Lovely then. All right. Tanner, speaking of, how was tonight for you? Don, how are you doing?
Good. Yeah, I had a blast. You know, I think I had the realization that I haven't played Call of Cthulhu since the last time we all played Call of Cthulhu, and that was a long time ago now. So it was great being back. I had so much fun. It felt like old times immediately. And I really enjoyed getting to see everybody's characters and how, they're, as always, totally different than the characters I've seen folks play here before. I loved all of your props, Lindy. I didn't know that was going to happen. And so every single time you did something, it was an absolute delight. And yeah, I just really enjoyed getting to meet people's characters tonight. I also thought it was the opposite advice from Wash and from Pentagast were great. The answering the door nude. I loved Tom's your character, the way he has a put on camera persona that's so different from how he actually speaks was perfect. And the introduction with the rant of on Star Wars as Wash entered was perfect. I love the into film, I'll break this down and get super into it kind of rants that you went on. I just love everybody's characters. I'm excited for next session.
Thank you. Greg, how was tonight for you?
Oh, it was like a blast. I don't want to repeat what everybody said, but it has been a while since we all sat down to play. Just like Don, this is the last time I played Cthulhu was with you all, and that was a while back. And it's so much fun to get into a mystery like this and get into a setting like this, which you expertly explained. I love the setting. I love The NPCs are the best. Heather's like silent, strong push towards getting any time with Tanner is like that. I didn't realize I needed that. And I really did need that because that was absolutely the best. That strong, like unrequited. But then Tanner got scared, so he kind of requited, and that was a great back and forth there. It was really, really good. He was hesitant at first, and then when he got more and more apprehensive, the closer Heather got. That was great. Really, really good stuff. Really. And I was going to say I had it written down about Tom. Tom, what did you say right before you went on camera? Don't be who you are, be who you want to be. Is that what you said? That was the best. That was, I immediately forgot just how much Tom was always forced to play like the straight guy, the guy that's not having all of the rest of us have these wild berserk characters, and Tom has always expertly played the guy that's kind of grounded. And I that comment, Tom, it was absolutely fucking perfect, man. That was absolutely the best. Can't wait till next time, everybody. And Lindy, thanks for getting the gang back together.
I did what I could, and I made it happen, damn it. It only took how long? But, Tom, last but certainly not least, how was tonight for you?
It was wonderful. It was almost as if we never left. It was just so easy just to get back into the feel of it and the role and just bouncing off one another. It's almost as if like there's just been no time between it. I think once you've got a group like that, it doesn't matter if it's, but you just know, it's instinct, and you all just kind of love it. And this is so good. This is so good. I didn't realize just how long the time, because you don't, when you do it, you just play it, and it's fantastic. So again, Lindy, thank you so much for bringing us all together. It is so much fun. And I love Heather. I will sacrifice everyone in this party to save her. So,
good to know. Thank you. Thank you so much. I had an absolute blast. It's been an utter joy getting all this together and creating this campaign. My favorite moments was everyone's character intros, because they were just so perfect for each one. I loved Martin's camera face too. That tickled me. And the immediate, like, unrequited love between that first scene between Heather and Tanner, from just being like, no, really, it's fine. I can set up by myself. You don't have to be here. Like, ooh, like, it was just, but then, like, the shift to be like, hey, but maybe, like, we could watch a movie. It was very cute. Everything about Wash is hilarious. And Araya is just living his best life, and I am here for it. Can't wait for next time. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, have fun, play games.